How would you feel if you rented or sourced 10 rent-to-rents in the next few months? How would that change your life? Or another way of putting it, imagine having 10 rent-to-rents under your control, each one generating in excess of £800 every single month net profit. So how would that change your life? Well, I could imagine you could send your children to private school. You could pay off your dreaded debts. You could get a business coach and thereby educating yourself further. You could invest in other businesses. You could build your own buy-to-let portfolio. You could run your own service accommodation. You could take luxury holidays more often, say every 3 months. Or you could give up that dreaded 9-to-5 job. You get the picture? So the challenge I would like you to think about today is, if you could source 10 rent-to-rents in the next 90 days, what would that do for you? Or supposing you sourced 10 rent-to-rents that each generated a minimum of £1,000 per month. Or you sourced 10 rent-to-rents that you sold to other investors who each paid you between £2,500 and £4,000 each. Or what about sourcing 10 rent-to-rents within the next 8 weeks? That's the challenge I'd like to throw over to you today. For now, I'm going to stick with the awesome challenge of sourcing 10 rent-to-rents. Now, for clarification, a rent-to-rent can be a HMO or a service accommodation. A rent-to-rent HMO is a property in which 3 or more people occupy a home. But here's the definition of a HMO from the official government website. So your home is a house of multiple occupation, HMO, if both of the following apply. Number 1, at least 3 tenants live there, forming more than one household. And number 2, you share a toilet, bathroom or kitchen facilities with other housemates. And the definition of a service accommodation is: a service accommodation refers to a fully furnished property which is available for both short-term or long-term let. This type of accommodation may also offer facilities similar to those offered by a hotel. I would add that a lot of the service accommodation properties are run on a short-term basis and is occupied by people who want the facilities of a hotel, but with the addition of a kitchen and lounge. So if we're going to take up this challenge, the challenge of finding 10 rent-to-rents, each of which will generate a minimum of £800 per month net profit. If we're going to take up that challenge, for me there are 3 important elements we need to put in place first. 3 important mindset elements. Number 1 is mindset itself. Number 2 is your environment. And number 3 is education. So I'm going to go into these 3 elements individually. When it comes to mindset, it's about the way you think and the thoughts you have. Your thoughts actually create your reality. So if you wake up in the morning and you turn the TV on to the news and you're constantly bombarded with negative news, you're going to walk around and carry that information around with you all day long. If you turn on the radio and also watch the news, the same thing will happen. You're bombarded with negative information, negative ideas, negative concepts everywhere you go, whether it's from your partner at home, from advertising billboards outside, from conversations with other people you meet and pass by, from the information you glean in the newspaper. You're constantly bombarded with negative information. And this is why it's so important that the information you put inside your brain, your head, first thing upon waking up must be positive. Garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you feed your mind first thing in the morning is how you will feel for the rest of the day. So some important tactics that you could take on board is journaling. Journaling on a daily basis is fantastic. It enables you to unload all the information stuck inside your head. And whilst you're journaling, if you ask yourself some guided questions, you'll get some valuable information out. For instance, how can I ensure that I enjoy myself at work today? Or how can I help myself to exercise for the next 30 minutes? Or what would I need to do in order to complete the day on a high? Or what one thing can I do today that will enable me to generate an additional £500? Asking yourself guided questions is a powerful tool to take, especially when you're journaling in the morning. Affirmations are important. If you go through a list of 5 to 10 affirmations on a daily basis, it will uplift your mood and it will help you to feel positive throughout the day. Another tool you could use is if you have any negativity, any negative thoughts about challenges or relationships you have in your life at the moment, write these down on a piece of paper. Write down why you feel the way you do. Write down 5 or 6 ways that you could find to overcome those situations, and also write down a positive way for you to feel about those situations so that you don't need to spend a whole day feeling negative and despondent about them. Mindset is a powerful tool which you should focus on first thing upon waking up, because if you're going to source 10 rent-to-rents in the next 90 days, you're going to have to change your mind and change your thoughts every single day. The second tool you should be using, as I mentioned in the list, is environment. It is important that you surround yourself in the correct and right environment. If you're looking to source 10 rent-to-rents in the next 90 days, for instance, you need to surround yourself with like-minded people, or people who are further ahead in the game than you are currently. Your environment is more important than anything. Your environment will help speed your way through the challenges of negativity that you will get when you speak to an agent and they say no, and then you call another one and they say no. Your environment will give you the tips and tools you need to overcome various challenges. Your environment will give you the motivation to keep going. Your environment will show you how those who are ahead of you are faring and the successes that they have achieved. Your environment will help you to stay the course. So it's important that you find yourself, you surround yourself in the right environment with the right people, and you can find the right people at networking events or on programs that you wish to attend, or in social media groups online. And finally, education. There is nothing more important than education. You cannot imagine for 1 minute that you can sit at home at work and conjure up the tools necessary to make your way through the ever-changing environment of property. When you educate yourself, you could cut your success time in less than half. It could take you 10 years to find your first buy-to-let. But if you educate yourself and give yourself the right tools and the right education, you could do it in a heartbeat. Education is vitally important, and self-education is the key.